Officer Elisa Mares. I would like to remind you of a few things before we get started. All candidates need to be in their seats at this time. Perfect, good job guys. Please silence all electronic devices. If it makes a sound, please just turn it to vibrate silent. When candidates are asked to repeat the oath, each candidate must repeat the oath to the best of his or her ability. U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services does not issue United States passports. That is the Department of State. Please take care of your certificate once you receive it. Don't fold it, laminate it, stick it in your wallet or purse. Remember, it will cost you $555 to replace that certificate. You might as well just naturalize all over again, right? If you have children who are born outside of the United States and they are legal permanent residents residing with you today, they will derive citizenship from you today. It's Form N-600 to get that. You can always make an InfoPass appointment and come in and see us or call the 1-800 number and they can mail you that form, okay? Picture taking is encouraged. You may move around the area to take pictures at any time as long as you do not interfere with the proceedings. And please be courteous to one another. Don't forget to register to vote. Contact your local voting office. There's also the group here. Please remember to visit your local Social Security office. Give us about 30 days for the systems to update. You will keep your same number. They just update you to a United States citizen. Today, before you leave, ensure that everything on your naturalization certificate is correct. If you come back after your ceremony and say something's wrong, again, $555 to replace that certificate, okay? The staff of U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services is honored to be part of your ceremony today, and we hope you enjoy the ceremony. Thank you for your attention. We will begin right after this video. U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services Albuquerque Field Office, Mrs. Puccetti, I would like to welcome you to today's proceedings. Today, the national anthem will be performed by Ms. Alicia Solomon, director and co-founder of Opera Alta. Ms. Solomon's vast experience includes opera, oratorio, and musical theater, as well as extensive sacred work spanning 3 continents and over 30 years. Locally, she has performed with the Santa Fe Opera, Symphony, Concert Association, Chamber Music Festival, and the Desert Choir? Chorale? Thank you. She has served as a soloist in a wide variety of denominations. Ms. Solomon currently sings with the Santa Fe Women's Ensemble and teaches voice, piano, and guitar in Los Alamos, New Mexico. The colors today will be posted by the Veterans of Foreign Wars Post 8874. Please rise for the posting of the colors.
All guard. Then put. Mount colors. March.
round of applause for Ms. Sullivan, and we're going to I'd like to start by recognizing some of those in attendance today. From Senator Tom Udall's office, Ms. Michelle Jacques Ortiz. From Senator Martin Heinrich's office, Mr. Dave Nezzi. And from Congressman Ben Ray Lujan's office, Mr. Nicholas Maestas. The road to citizenship for many normally comes on the day they are born. For others, it takes time and effort to achieve. All immigrants must first apply and be granted the status of lawful permanent resident. Not all who apply are granted this status. Most lawful permanent residents must then wait until they have resided in the United States for 5 years. For those married to United States citizens, the wait is shortened to 3 years. The path is shortened greatly for those who have chosen to join the military, serve with honor, and defend a country they are not even a citizen of. Once they have met the residency requirements, they can apply for naturalization. On the day of their interview, they must be able to demonstrate knowledge of the English language, including reading and writing unless they are exempt. They must also be able to demonstrate knowledge of our country's history and government. They must be able to prove that they are of good moral character and subscribe to the principles of the Constitution. Once they meet these requirements, they become eligible for naturalization to become a United States citizen. Today, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services is pleased to present 15 applicants representing 8 different countries. Will the candidates please stand to be recognized as the country of your nationality is called, and then you may be seated. Brazil. Burma. Colombia. India. Mexico. South Korea. Taiwan. And last but not least, United Kingdom. Mrs. Puchetti, the candidates have been examined by a designated immigration services officer and have exhibited sufficient knowledge of the English language, history, and government of the United States. The candidates have been found to be of good moral character, subscribing to the principles of the Constitution, and are well disposed to the good order and happiness of the United States. U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services is pleased to announce that upon taking the oath of allegiance, these applicants will become the newest citizens of the United States of America. At this time, I'd like to introduce our Acting Field Office Director, Mrs. Jacqueline Puchetti.
It's truly an honor for me to administer the oath to you today on July 4th, 2017. If you would please stand. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I hereby declare on oath that I absolutely and entirely renounce and abjure all allegiance and fidelity to any foreign prince, potentate, state, or sovereignty, of whom or which I have heretofore been a subject or citizen, that I will support and defend Constitution and the laws of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I will bear arms on behalf of the United States when required by law, that I will perform non-combatant service in the armed forces of the United States when required by law, that I will perform work of national importance under civilian direction when required by the law, and that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. So help me God. Congratulations.
Will everyone please stand and join us in saying the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance Thank you. You may all be seated. I'd like to introduce Mr. Nicholas Maestas, representative for the delegation, who will be reading some remarks on behalf of the delegation.
Thank you very much. Congratulations. My name is Nicholas Maestas, and I work for Congressman Bandelier in the Santa Fe office. And so the delegation has gotten together and put some remarks together. The Congressman, Senators Udall and Heinrich as well. So I'm going to read some remarks on their behalf. On behalf of U.S. Senator Tom Udall and Martin Heinrich and Congressman Bandelier Lujan, thank you for inviting us to be part of your celebration this morning. Welcoming you as citizens to the United States is truly an honor. It's a pleasure to join Bandelier National Monument Superintendent Jason Lott, Los Alamos County Councilor Chair David Israelowitz, and representatives from the U.S. and U.S. Citizens and Immigration Services, Elisa and Jacqueline, as we welcome 15 of our country's newest citizens here in one of our nation's oldest historic landmarks. So first, we'd like to say congratulations, this is your day. Today is a great step forward in your lives, and also for our country. Each of you is part of the heritage and promise of America. We are not Americans just because of an oath or a piece of paper. We are Americans because of an idea, the idea of freedom and equal opportunity. The idea has brought millions to our shores, and over 200 years has defined who we are. Our nation began with the idea of freedom and equality. In the words of the Declaration of Independence, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. It was a giant step forward in human rights, but it was only the beginning. And many of our fellow citizens dedicated their lives to this idea of freedom, for the promise of America, and it brought us all here today. We are a nation of immigrants. From the very beginning, immigrants have helped defend our freedoms, even when they did not always fully enjoy those freedoms themselves. Each of you has your own unique story of hard work, of sacrifice, of striving for a better life for yourself and for your children. Many of you overcame great challenges to be here today. The important thing is you kept going. You got up each morning, you went to work, you cared for your family, and you kept hope alive. This is the character that makes America strong. That keeps hope alive in America. The determination, the dream of a better life, the refusal to give up, that is the rich history of immigrants. In New Mexico, we celebrate our diversity. We treasure our immigrant traditions. It is part of who we are, part of our identity. We are called the land of enchantment, not because of our beautiful landscapes, but because of the people. We have to blend cultures like nowhere else. We understand how important this is in New Mexico. Citizenship is a great privilege and a great responsibility. Democracy does not always run smoothly. We hope that you will make your voice heard. You work hard, and you deserve a government that works hard for you. Congratulations again. Good luck in all of your endeavors, and thank you for allowing us to be part of this great day. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Maestas. I'd like to introduce our keynote speaker, the Superintendent of Bandelier National Monument, Mr. Jason Lott. Mr. Lott has been with the National Park Service since 2002. He previously served as the Superintendent for Casa Grande Ruins National Program Manager, Casa Grande Ruins Monument in Arizona for 3 years, and as the Resource Program Manager for Lyndon B. Johnson National Historic Park in Texas for 5 years. Mr. Lott also serves as the New Mexico State Coordinator for the National Park Service and Logistics Chief for the National Park Service Intermountain Region's Incident Management Team, and as a board member for the Valles Calderas National Preserve. Mr. Lott is a 20-year veteran of the Army National Guard. He served 10 years as an enlisted soldier with the deployment during Operation Desert Storm, and as an officer, he served as a company commander during Operation Iraqi Freedom in 2003. Mr. Lott retired from the Army National Guard in 2006 as the rank of captain. Locally, Mr. Lott serves on the Leadership Los Alamos Board, as an assistant scoutmaster for Boy Scouts Troop 129, as an officer with the Veterans of Foreign Wars, a member of the Los Alamos Public Safety Committee, and as a National Park Service liaison to the Tourism Association of New Mexico. Mr. Lott earned a master's degree in history with an emphasis in cultural resource management from Northwest State University in Natchitoches, Louisiana. Mr. Lott, Wendy, his wife, and their 2 children are residents of White Rock, New Mexico. Mr. Lott, the stage is yours.
My fellow Americans, just a few moments ago I would address you as something else, but that should sound pretty good to you. I have the honor of addressing you as my fellow Americans. Congratulations. Good morning and welcome to Bandelier National Monument, your backyard, and now your favorite national park. On behalf of the National Park Service Acting Director Michael Reynolds and Intermountain Regional Director Sue Massica, it is my honor and privilege to be in front of you today. A day that this nation welcomes 15 new citizens onto its rolls, plus one that we're going to, she became a citizen, she was adopted as a youth, and she's going to reaffirm her citizenship today with the new citizens. So 16 new citizens by my count. And what a perfect way for us to celebrate America's birthday on the 4th of July with its newest members of the world's oldest democracy. By definition, as a citizen of a democracy, you are formally a part of the government. Ours is a system in which supreme power is vested in the people, for which you are now a member. This power resides with your rights to free speech, your vote, and our collective ability to elect good representatives to our local, state, and national government. Please take this responsibility seriously. It does make a difference. Now, in addition to formalizing your naturalization and citizenship, we're also here to celebrate your engagement with the American dream. You are now accepted as a citizen of a nation in which all people are created equal, and all are endowed by their Creator with the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. These basic principles are outlined in our Declaration of Independence, signed just 241 years ago on this date, establishing our nation that is both yours and mine as a country that is of the people, by the people, and for the people. But be clear, ours is a government that is not here to serve you as an individual. It was established to serve the collective us, the people. So you are now part of something that is bigger than just you. So how do you make this work for you? How do you make this work for the people? Going forward from today, I encourage you to fully embrace these principles of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Be proud of your new role as citizens of the United States of America. Know that the happiness will not be handed to you, but is instead a state of being that you must strive to achieve. America is a land of opportunity, where citizens have the freedom to pursue their dreams, a place in which everyone has the choice to make a difference in their community and ultimately to improve the quality of life for yourself, your families, and other citizens, the people of this great nation. There are no limitations because of your cultural background, your beliefs, your religion, or your politics. Keep in mind that achieving your dream takes work, mostly hard work. Today you have overcome a sizable hurdle. Seize this opportunity that you have been given and know that America needs you. It requires your active participation, your fresh perspectives, your sweat, your skills, and your faithfulness. One of the greatest ways you can embrace the principles of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness is to be involved. Voting, of course, is an incredible right and privilege, but I also encourage you to engage in other ways. Understand the issues. Don't simply let someone else, or a group, or even a political party direct how you vote or think. Have well-structured and thoughtful opinions. Speak out and challenge your elected representatives. These are the officials that we have collectively chosen to represent us. Volunteer your time and talent to help those less fortunate, or to better your community. It is when we give of ourselves, our talent, and our resources, that is how our country became great. By each of us not expecting our government to serve as an individual, but as each of us remembering that we are the people. We are a government by the people, for the people. Support our troops, our public servants, and those that are actively working to improve and protect our way of life. Be a good neighbor. Understand and support the privileges of others to have their own opinions and beliefs. If needed, be prepared to defend those others and even their opinions, whether you agree with them or not. And you should expect the same. Your values, your opinions, your religion will be protected as well. We should all respect other opinions or beliefs, so long as they do not infringe or degrade your rights to life, liberty, and your pursuit of happiness. But do not stop there. Learn and understand all aspects of our nation, both at the local level and the national level. Have informed opinions, engage others, and have a vote. Attend public meetings, write letters, engage your representatives. If so inclined, run for office, and most importantly, vote. These are your rights. Do not waste them. This is your land and your nation. Make it work for you. Ours is a government tasked with serving the people. Give more than you take and expect the best. Please know that being a part of the ceremony is a privilege that I do not take lightly. The opportunity to associate and to support a group of people making such a commitment is a great honor. I realize that each of you have renounced your former citizenship in other countries. I expect that for many of you, this was not an easy decision. Please know that while you have renounced your former citizenship and pledged your loyalty to the United States, you have not surrendered your own history and culture. Those things you cherish about your past, your memories of family and friends, your heritage, your music, your literature, your celebration, your manners, these are still a part of you, and they belong here with you now. Your fellow Americans have much to learn from you. The qualities of your background define who you are, and this collective of our diversity as citizens enriches who we are as a nation, the people. Today, each of you have made the conscious decision to become an American citizen, which is a significant milestone in your life and marks the beginning of a new chapter. And what better place for a new start than in a national park, land that now belongs to you. As a citizen of the United States, these federal parks are yours. And I challenge each of you to hold myself, the National Park Service, and the federal government accountable on how we manage your lands and resources. Take pride in your ownership of these places and speak out if you do not approve. I promise you, we will listen. These are your national parks. Take ownership. I realize that each of you had to work hard to achieve your U.S. citizenship. Many having to learn a new language, as well as adjusting to a new way of life. I suspect that many of us who were born in this country may never realize the risk that you took to be here today. Your abandonment of one life, with its challenges, but fully understanding its culture and ways, more than likely leaving behind friends and family and moving your allegiance from one country to another and starting anew, was surely no small endeavor. Whereas I, as well as many others, were born into U.S. citizenship with its many benefits, you have made sacrifices and taken risks. Through motivation, determination, and tenacity, you are here today. You have chosen to invest in the United States, and today, we choose to invest in you. From now on, we'll refer to this as our country, yours and mine. With this ceremony today, we all reaffirm our commitment as citizens, as well as another truth, that our nation's success would simply not be possible without the generations of immigrants who have come to our shores from every country of the world. Unless you're Native American, we all trace our ancestry to those that took great risks or overcome monumental changes to arrive here from someplace else. Whether they arrived to the original colonies or set foot on Ellis Island or crossed the Rio Grande, all came to America with hopes of a better life, and you have this right as well. Make the best of it. It is my hope that in years to come, as you take part in future July 4th festivities, you'll look back fondly on today as a very special day. A day in which you took your final step for citizenship, but also a day that you became a part of something great, something larger. I hope that you remember the challenges that were set forth to you today, specifically the challenge to vote, to work hard, to positively contribute to society, and to achieve happiness. I hope that you will look back with pride that you met and surpassed each of these challenges, and that your contributions were not only for yourself and your family, but also for the greater good of the country, the people. The United States of America is a place to succeed, to prosper, and to live a good life. On behalf of the staff of Bandelier National Monument, I congratulate you on becoming citizens of this great nation, and I'm looking forward to your successes as our nation's newest citizens. Good luck, and God bless you.
Thank you, Mr. Lott. Now I would like to introduce our guest speaker, David Israelowitz. He was first elected by the Los Alamos County Council to fill the unexpired term of Councilor James Hall. Mr. Israelowitz was then elected for a full term in November of 2014. He is a first-generation American immigrating to the U.S. at the age of 11 from Uruguay, South America. He moved to Los Alamos in 1995 from Boston with his wife Terry and his 3 children, Joseph, Jacob, and Adam. Mr. Israelowitz has been involved in many community organizations in Los Alamos, including the Lunch Buddies program at Barranca Mesa Elementary School, the local middle school Math Counts team, the Los Alamos Employee Scholarship Fund, the J.R. Oppenheimer Memorial Committee, and the local section of the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. He has also been very active in the Los Alamos Jewish Center, serving in a variety of board positions, including president for several terms. David was a founding board member and is current president of the Los Alamos Community Foundation. He was a member of the Los Alamos County Planning and Zoning Commission from 2004 to 2009, serving as chair 2008 to 2009. He was a member of the Los Alamos County Charter Review Committee until his appointment to the Los Alamos County Council in July of 2011. He was elected council chair in January 2017. Mr. Izraelevitz telecommuted the first 10 years living in Los Alamos, developing computer algorithms for the U.S. Army and the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA. He joined Los Alamos National Labs in 2005, where he is currently a research engineer and team leader. He received his Bachelor's of Science degree, magna cum laude, in Computer and Systems Engineering from, you guys can't go to easy schools, can you?
RPI.
Rensselaer Polytechnical Institute, and the S&M EE. What are these degrees? Okay. And a PhD in electrical engineering and computer science from MIT. Sir, the stage is yours.
Thank you. I think I've used up half my time already. I'm sorry, Elisa. I should have helped summarize that a little bit more. But I appreciate the opportunity. What a beautiful day and what a wonderful occasion. Okay, so it's a little hot here, but it really is an honor to be here. And as you may have heard, I was a naturalized citizen myself, so I've been through this process, and I hope that I can share a few personal comments that might reflect as well on some of the journeys that are presented here. So those of you who have taken the solemn oath today share a moment in this beautiful canyon, but have all taken a different journey to be here. Each of you now bring to America those past experiences, overcoming past challenges, whether it was learning a new language or a new skill, or leaving familiar places and cultures behind. But as of today, that determination that brought you here to this moment has now become part of the strength of our nation. We are here to celebrate with you this particular junction in your life's journey, but all journeys have a past, a present, and a future. And I would like to celebrate with you all three, because we should acknowledge not only the present celebration, but the past and your future as an American are all important parts of this occasion. And I also want to acknowledge with you those people in your life who believed in you and gave you the opportunity to come to America, and those who helped you to get to this moment of achievement, and those who bore the loss of your companionship and your love so that you could be here. Because all complicated journeys, even those with happy moments such as these, are the product of sacrifice and loss. Some of you arrived as adults. Maybe coming to America was a choice based on economic opportunity, or reuniting with family, or sadly to escape persecution or harm. Others, like me, were children who did not grasp the promise of America or what we left behind to be here. It was my father and my mother who bore the burden and uncertainties that brought me here. So for me, the story of immigrating to America at the age of 11 from Uruguay, a small country in South America right next to Brazil, my neighbor, is fundamentally my parents' story. I would like to share today a little part of this story as one example of the stories that fill this room and make this so special. And I feel that by honoring my parents' story, I also honor the story of all of you here. And I hope that you will see my family's story a reflection of your own. So I think that if there is an optimal time to come to be an immigrant, it must be the age of 11. See, I have a younger brother and a younger sister, and they remember very little of Uruguay. However, I can remember clearly growing up in Montevideo, the capital city. I even remember what English sounded like before I understood any of it. I think some of you may agree that it sounds like a dog barking or growling or something like that, because it's full of consonants and very few vowels. And I still remember my cousin and I, we would play spies. And of course, all the good spies spoke English. And we would growl at each other to pretend that we commanded each other in English, because we didn't know what to say anything. My parents worked very hard in Uruguay, but were never rewarded with financial stability. My dad worked in many different jobs. He sold construction lumber, he drove a taxi, he even sold blankets at a local flea market. Their last effort was to knit sweaters on hand-drawn looms in our living room. I would get a few pennies by winding the wool so they could knit it. But it was a very tough times in the 1960s in South America, and that business went under as well. So they applied to immigrate to America. So I remember waiting at the American consulate lobby in Montevideo with my little brother and my little sister, staring at the picture of then President Richard Nixon while my parents were interviewed in the next room. And I was staring at President Richard Nixon because my mother had pointed to the picture and told me that there was a camera hidden behind the portrait. And they would know if we misbehaved. So I stared at Mr. Nixon the whole time we waited, and I was sure I could see that the picture was swaying a little bit, like scouring the room. So it was very effective. Maybe it's too late, but maybe it's something that this audience can use in the future. So after much paperwork, and I know you know this very well, my father came first to New York and started work a few months before we joined him. My mother, my siblings, and I boarded a Pan American 7... So we boarded a Pan American 727 flight in Montevideo on a cold winter night, June 21st, 1971. First time I was in an airplane, the first time I went above the clouds, the first time I saw lightning from above it. And we arrived the next morning at John F. Kennedy Airport on a hot summer day. And we piled into the first car our family had ever owned, and it traveled down the New Jersey Turnpike at the unimaginable speed of 65 miles per hour. And it sounds even faster when you say 105 kilometers per hour. It was fast. So I remember that everything about America was oversized. The buildings, the bridges, the highways, the playgrounds. The most exhilarating experiences those first days were not in the playground, however, but rather among the grocery store aisles. In fact, the local supermarket was like an amusement park. We were introduced to sugary breakfast cereals, ketchup, and ready-to-eat fish sticks, and shopping carts. And most surprising and impressive to me were those magical self-opening doors. And until an attendant scolded me, I kept opening the door again and again. I just thought it was amazing. How did it know? So my father was 41 years old when we immigrated. For some years his English was very choppy, and I used to translate for him. And I understand now that that was very difficult and almost embarrassing for him to rely on his children in this way. But that's part sometimes of the immigrant experience. But he knew that opportunity came with education, and he subsequently went to college during the day and worked the factory night shift. And graduated with better pay and better career. And his graduation ceremony was for me a prouder moment than my own from Rensselaer or MIT or wherever. There's a second advantage to being an 11-year-old immigrant. If I had been older, I might have understood that my parents were giving up, what my parents were giving up in the process of what I saw just as a wonderful adventure. And some of the excitement might have been tempered by the realization that there was risk and loss as well. As a child, we don't realize that time passes, that sometimes there is no returning home, sometimes there's no home to return to. Coming to America for me had all the excitement of an adventure and none of the dangers, but those perils were all too real to my parents. Finding a steady job, a place to live, a future for their children. Those were all uncertain until we had them. So now I realized that as I was gaining a limitless world of opportunity, they were also losing some language, some culture, some family. After all, the night that we boarded that beautiful 727 was also the last night my mother saw her father. So for those of you who came here as adults, those of you who had to learn a new language, new customs, that along with the door opening to America, others permanently closed, I salute your courage. So this is my story, and I noted earlier, each of you here has your own story of how you came to America, how you came to join this country. They are stories of adjustment, of insecurity, but also of learning and triumph and of promise. I ask you that do not let your story lie hidden in a corner. I ask that you share it with your family and your friends, and if you are so blessed, to share it with your children and your grandchildren. Because each of our stories are now part of the story of the United States of America. It may not make the textbooks, like the story of the Pilgrims at Plymouth Rock, but it is part of our history nevertheless. And if one of our children becomes president of the United States, it might make it into the textbooks too. I also ask that you celebrate and share with the rest of your fellow Americans those qualities of the country and society that you brought with you. Your native music, your cooking and culture brings a diversity to the American amalgam that has been enriching us since the early days of the Republic. America is a melting pot, but there are still juicy little chunks of every culture floating there. In every society there is immigration, but in the United States, immigration is part and parcel of who we are as a nation. It is part of our psyche, it is part of our mythology. Maybe I could even call it part of our soul. So from the past, let me turn back to today's event. I took the same oath you have just taken, but many years ago as a college student. So I had been an American in my mind for a decade at that point. I had no problem with the language or citizenship test. I was kind of impatient with the clerk. I thought I knew more about that stuff than he did. That's what it is when you're 19, 20 years old. And frankly, becoming a citizen for me was a matter of convenience. I felt as American as any of my friends. My mother, on the other hand, never became an American citizen. She was just too intimidated by the test, even as we encouraged her year after year. However, my father did become a citizen, and I'm proud to say he handled his responsibility to debate and when needed to complain about American politics and American politicians with the gusto of any other red-blooded American in this room. He even took a trip to the National Democratic Convention in Boston in 2004 because he wanted to feel part of that political process. Unfortunately, he didn't tell anyone. So we spent the day kind of wondering, where's Grandpa? And it turned out he was in Boston, two-hour drive away. So the past, the present, and what about our future as American citizens? You now count in our political process as much as anyone else in this room. I hope you will register to vote today. Our clerk's office is right there behind you. And then you will get one. And let me remind you, just one vote. For me, it was only after becoming a citizen, as I left college and began to work and start a family, and I became engaged in my society, and I read about the rest of the world, that I began to really understand the gift and privilege that our American citizen provided. I began to understand that the freedoms that our nation is blessed with, that are so precious, are often missing around the world. The economic opportunities afforded to us are just not available to so many others. I felt both the pride and the responsibility to guard its blessings. So maybe some of us feel as new citizens that it is impolite to criticize this country that has just welcomed us. But to feel this way is not, I believe, what this nation expects of us. America thrives on discourse and argument, on our freedom of the press and freedom of speech. Those are fundamental values that we hold dear and we expect for all citizens, new and old. So like that first time that you might sit at your in-laws' dinner table when you are first married, and you feel too polite to contradict or interrupt the conversation. You are really part of the family when your voice is as loud and as strident as that of anyone else around that table. So just like any family, the American family has its share of crazy uncles who talk too much, and funny anecdotes that we share, and favorite recipes and secret jokes. Those of us, like you and me, who have had to take a test to become an American, who have publicly pledged our allegiance to this great country, are now part and parcel of this family, as much as those who have been here for generations. And we will share our crazy uncles and anecdotes and recipes and jokes. We are fortunate that you have joined us, especially at this time in our history. We need the perspective that you bring to America because you have seen America from a distance. We need the wisdom that you bring as well because you have lived without America's blessings and know just how precious and fragile they can be. And finally, we need the generosity you will bring toward the stranger because you know what it is to be a stranger and to be welcomed. But you are strangers no longer. You are part of the family. So from the bottom of my heart, welcome to my family. Welcome to the American family. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Israelowitz. I'd like to take a moment to thank everyone that helped make this day special today. Alicia Solomon, our singer. Flowers by Julian. All of our applicants are wearing something from her. The Herrera family dancers, which we'll see a little bit later. Atomic City Transit, which helped get you all out here. The Western National Parks Association for the gift bags. The Los Alamos County voter registration is back there. The Veteran of Foreign Wars Post 8874. The Los Alamos Rotary Club for the refreshments. Friends of Bandelier for their continued support of Bandelier's programs. Nicholas Maestas, representative with Congressman Ben Ray Lujan. Michelle Jacques, representing United States Senator Tom Uhal. And Dave Nessie, representing United States Senator Martin Heinrich. I would like to congratulate each of you on your accomplishment. Wish you luck in pursuit of the American dream, and thank your family and friends for their support during this journey. We look forward to each of our new citizens making their unique contribution to the greatness of the United States of America. Now let's give another round of applause to our newest citizens. There are those select few that in a person's life who can make a difference for that person. We thank you for letting me be part of those select few. This concludes our ceremony. Please remain seated as we prepare to hand out your certificates of naturalization. Guests, please feel free to come forward and take pictures. Applicants, as your name is called, please come forward to receive your certificate of naturalization and be seated after you have your picture taken. We will have a group photo once everyone receives their certificate. You all let me know when you're ready. You want the whole receiver now? Okay. Seung Jum Kim. Siu Ping Liao. Sergio Tomás Olivas Zubiate. Patricia Soledad Granados. Zuilma Janet Archibek. Manuel Ramón Iturralde. Vladimir Conde Reche. Simoni Di Pietro Reche. Claudia Amparo Westerbeek. Ketty Tarun Das. Min Sung Che. Aye Thandar Kia. Pedro Beltrán Martínez. Helen Elizabeth Forty. Carmen Isela González de Ontiveros. Felicidades.
And I'd like to unofficially invite our special citizen up as well. Nicole, is that correct? Nina, I'm sorry. I knew I should have wrote that down. Nina, come on up.
What would you like to do with your picture?
So we need to do a group photo with the new citizens, but please know, give us 2 minutes to clear the chairs. We have the Herrera family from Coastie going to be here. They have some special dances for our new citizens. So please don't leave. You're going to want to see the dancers, so I invite you to do so. Also, new citizens, in those packets, you have a Bandelier pass. So you can come here for the next year, bring your family, bring a carload of people, whenever you want. There's a pass in there for you. The flags were provided by Friends of Bandelier, but they were flown over the national capital for y'all, and so that know that those have traveled all the way across the country to get here today for you. And then the group photo would be, where do we want to do the group photo? Why don't we do it in front of the visitor center? If we all could meet right now in front of the visitor center, we'll get a picture and we'll free you to enjoy the rest of your day.
Before age of 10, plant good seeds. That's all right. You know, because when they get to be teenagers, then, oh my God. You know, you guys don't know what I'm talking about, you know. So, if you don't, and then it's interesting how the old people used to say, if they start to go this way, my grandpa, I'll acknowledge him, his name was Grandpa Lorenzo. He said, if you start to go this way, it's almost like a young Zeppelin. You can always train him out, you know. So anyway, so we're trying to do that, trying to help them right when they're little right now. The other thing I just want to say is Sally King and some of the people really still acknowledge who we are from Coastie Province. Personally, I had a career with the National Park Service. I started several years ago when I was working here and going to college. And what happened when I was doing that several years ago, we're talking about the dark ages now. We're talking about the 60s, 1960 when I was in college. But anyway, superintendent then acknowledged my knowledge of Coach P, with some of the stuff that was going on here, because we have a close relationship, and the place here is still alive. Some of you who have a little more keener energy, you might feel the spirit that's still here. The spirit that's still here. The grandmas and grandpas are still here, you know. And so when we come over here, it's not only just a visit, it's a special pilgrimage for us. And I know a lot of the people, just like Sally King, who's head of interpretation, always calls us for help so that we can give you information, and it be information for you folks that are coming here, and it can maximize your understanding on who we are. I started doing a lot of work with the Park Service, and when I was here, I realized that there was that kind of need to understand so that our people, our kids, their grandkids can have the same kind of opportunities that anybody has. So if you guys, you folks that are from another country, different culture, if you understand who we are, then it helps us to be acknowledged as people here. So I appreciate you guys being here. You know, when you come to a feast or you come to a gathering such as here, I say thanks, because you're here, you really acknowledge us, and it makes us feel good. You know, it's almost like, hey, you guys are still alive, you know? Yeah, there you go. So anyway, I was trying to give these guys a little break too. So anybody has anything they would like to add to this before we do another one?
I think you said it very well.
Okay. Oh, one thing I like to say, you know, it's really hard to dance on this kind of floor. Seriously, we're grounded people. You know, we like to dance on Mother Earth. But I want to say this too. What we're doing here is an invitation to you. If anybody feels like they can do this, give it a try. Come on out and dance with us. We're going to do maybe a couple more dances. Okay, so come on out, guys. Anybody? You gonna try it? Try it. Come on. Yeah. You know, let me share with you. This last dance we did is let me just, because people are probably asking, what were you singing? What were you dancing? This last song we did was a song that my dad composed, the late Jim Herrera. And in this one here, the way he did it, he always had some humor in music. And actually, when we talk about coming from the north, he said, through the clouds, and you notice my boys are doing this, they're doing this like that, and what they're doing is that the deer are kind of making fun of the hunter. They're looking through the clouds. The hunters are coming in, and the deer are up in the mountains, and they're looking at the hunters through the clouds, you know, kind of making fun of them, you know. And then we go to the west, from the west, and then from there is the mountain sheep. And they're making fun of the hunters. They're looking through the fog at the deer as the hunters are coming in. So anyway, this was a fun dance, and I know my boys like to dance that because it acknowledges their grandpa. So you guys want to do one more? Come on out if you're going to try it. Okay. remind you, we're going to do another dance, so we can make friends with you all. Coming out, we're going to bring out the bigger drum and do a social dance. So if you're coming out, and we'll show you how to do it. So coming out and join us. Yeah, one of the guys. Oh yeah, let me. Before we go any further, I forgot. Yeah, they call me the old man Uncle Dad. So you know, and my oldest over there is Tim Herrera. Middle one is Carlos. The youngest is Tomas. Yeah, they're all my and then over there we have Renan, that's Carlos' daughter, and Tommy over there. So they're learning. Anyway, go ahead, you can do it.
Okay, so I want some of you guys to come out and participate. Now it's your chance.
Yeah.
So come on out here and try a dance. It's a very simple dance that we're going to do. It's what we call a round dance, or also known as a friendship dance. So the step is very easy. Go ahead and give me a beat. So it's going to be a very simple step like this. What we're going to do is let's go ahead and try and get in a circle here.
There you go.
Okay? Get in a circle, okay? There we go. And then you make a little person there. Alright, we're getting it. And Janice and Sylvie, you guys aren't getting it out of this one. Come on out. Joy, come on. That's your chance.